Hi, Redwoods. It's nice that you can't see anybody up here. Okay. Connor Clifton, the play. Author's note, names in the story have been changed because I feel super shitty about how all this went down. Everyone has a shitty phase. You know, the time in your life when you're completely selfish and you have no regard for how your actions affect other people. Maybe you call it the time in your life where you aren't looking for something monogamous right now. Or maybe you're willing to have sex with your shitty ex-girlfriend just so she'll give you more Ambien to crush and snort. Or maybe you date sisters. I dated sisters in high school. I was a senior and president of the debate team and considered myself to be hot shit. Our high school debate team was finally getting good again thanks to my leadership and a really great batch of debaters. I was also cast as the Tin Man in the school's production of The Wizard of Oz, so yeah, that's a pretty big fucking deal. The school's administrators basically let me do whatever I wanted within reason. I was bringing the school trophies. My collection of extemporaneous speaking trophies was growing, and so was my ego. But enough about how great I was. Let's get back to how shitty I was. The sisters, Paige and Abby. Paige was a junior, Abby a freshman. I had asked Paige out to homecoming at the insistence of my friends. She said yes, and we promptly started dating. It sucked. She was neurotic. She had a shrill voice and a laugh that made me never want to tell jokes. Our conversations would often end up stilted due to a lack of common ground. She wanted to talk about volunteering at the old folks' home, and I wanted to talk about smoking salvia. You ever tried that shit? Fucking watch yourself. Anyway, Paige and I were a match made in a hurry. I would often talk to her younger sister, Abby. I'm trying to read. I would often talk to her younger sister, Abby, about how much her sister sucked. That turned into, oh, you like cartoons? Your sister hates them. What do you watch? Which turned into Abby and I making out whenever Paige wasn't around. I know. It's really crappy, and I still feel really bad about how I messed up the family dynamic. Eventually, Paige and I broke up, so when Abby and I hooked up, it really wasn't cheating. It was just going behind everybody's back. For sex. Abby and I eventually got tired of being so secretive and decided to test the waters with her family about going public. It didn't go well. Paige would yell at me in the school hallways in front of everyone listening about what a douchebag I was. Our peers were split into Team Connor is an asshole and Team Who Cares. It was a huge mess that really wasn't worth it since I was set to graduate in a few months. It all came to a head. I lost my place. Okay, hold on. It all came to a head when the girl's father, a teacher at the school, tried to bring me up on statutory rape charges. He called me to tell me that the rest of my life was going to change and good luck getting a job. After hearing about this, my mother called him, and after an hour-long phone conversation, she told me that this was all just going to go away as long as I never spoke to the girls again. Thank you, Romeo and Juliet clause. I said okay, and I deleted their numbers from my phones, unfriended them on MySpace, and went off to college. Never planning to speak to them again. My last big mistake of high school was officially behind me, until about a year later. I was back in my hometown visiting some friends, smoking pot in my minivan, when my buddy Harold was the one who broke the news. Hey, remember that girl you dated, Paige? My asshole tightened. I wasn't supposed to be talking to or about these girls. Yeah, what about it? A huge shit-eating grin grew across Harold's face. She wrote a play about you, dude. I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I asked him more about the play, and all he could tell me was, "You're an onion." What the fuck does that mean? We drove to the old alma mater, Sci-Fair High School. Sorry, I'm not from here. Sci-Fair High School. Bobcat fight never dies? Nobody? Okay. And pulled into the parking lot. I was eager to see this play that was no doubt the reason for the season. As soon as I walked through the door, I was noticed by my old theater teacher, Mr. Cabinets. "Hey, Connor, I was afraid you'd come. Follow me." Mr. Cabinets led me and my friends through an alternate route to the theater room. When I walked in and took my seat, I noticed a lot of people were staring at me and whispering, this was going to be awesome. Lights out. When they came back on, Paige was in the center of the stage, playing herself. She played a nurse who only wanted to help people. The play was mostly filled with old jokes I heard her say, and some pretty lousy acting. Then, this albino-looking kid in a Hawaiian shirt and socks with sandals walks onto the stage wearing a Darth Vader mask. He'd gotten the mask stuck on his head and apparently needed to go to the emergency room to get it taken off. How contrived. Harold nudged me with his elbow. "That's you, dude." I couldn't believe it. First off, I don't wear Hawaiian shirts, all right? I wear festive shirts. Second, I only rocked the socks and sandals for a few months in my senior year of high school because it was comfortable. I wasn't watching a play about myself. I was watching a poorly drawn caricature of the man that I used to be. As the play went on, my character, I think his name was Mark, flirts with the main character and woos her, and she falls in love. But hold the fucking phone, because guess what? There's a huge twist. Get fucking ready, y'all. As it turns out. See, it's all caps. Mark would routinely go to the emergency room and hit on the nurses. Aw, shit. Once the main character realized what kind of person she'd fallen for, she went on to a monologue that became way too personal. Maybe it was the weed in my system leading to a warped sense of making everything about me, or maybe it was the only genuine part of the play because I started freaking out. Paige wasn't yelling at this character she had written. She was yelling at me. She was telling me what an asshole I was for lying to her, for going behind her back, for destroying her family dynamic. I felt like crying. I felt like stopping the play to apologize. I wanted Paige, her sister, their father, everyone in the room to know that I was still being crushed by the guilt that stemmed from this decision. I wanted to beg for the forgiveness that I knew I didn't deserve. Then, as the monologue was wrapping up, Paige's character turned to my character and said, "You seem nice at first, but deep down, under all the niceness, you're a piece of garbage. You're an onion." Oh, jeez. The onion metaphor died with the Shrek franchises. You can't end a touching, heartfelt monologue with a half-assed line like that. I started giggling. Then I started laughing. Then I couldn't stop laughing. People began to look back at me. I was mocking her play and letting everyone in the audience know it. Don't get me wrong, the guilt was still there. I have a Catholic mother. I was not showing that guilt. I was showing complete lack of sympathy. But can you blame me? A year had passed and she threw so much of herself into this very personal play, only for the last monologue to end with, "You're an onion." To this day, it's the softest, kindest insult I'd ever heard about myself. The play had about 5 minutes left. In this time, she met someone new in the emergency room and fell in love with him. Aww. We had to leave as quietly and stealthily as we arrived. Once we were back in the minivan, Harold asked me what I thought. I could do better. Thank you.